was the Puerto Rico flag. I did see that too.
Huge image reflecting the ongoing crisis in Iraq. What can you tell us a little bit about the images?
Yeah, sure. We have 3,445 pairs of boots out here today. In January of 2004, when we started, we had 504 pairs of boots. So you can see how fast the exhibit has grown. Because it has grown so large, unfortunately, this is the last time it's going to be exhibited as one complete unit. We're going to split the exhibit up into the 50 states and send them off so they can tour around the individual areas. When we started this, we began it because in May of 2003, when George Bush flew on the aircraft carrier and said, that the big mission accomplished behind, we said, there's no way the mission is accomplished. There's no way that this war is going to end. Combat operations in Iraq have concluded. They didn't conclude, they just got worse. So by January, 504 people had died, and we put out the boots. And from that point on, we just planned to do it one time. And people started asking to have the boots come and visit their college campuses around the Chicagoland area. And then by summer of that year, we had grown to 800 pairs of boots. And we were in Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia, and we just then started on the road and started taking it all over the country. And every day we will add new boots for the new casualties. And in the process of this, we've had hundreds of family members come to visit the boots. Some families don't get anything back from Iraq. Their loved one is in such a bad condition, or his things have been destroyed or lost, that they don't send anything back. So in some cases, we've had family members come here and see these boots, and they're the only thing that they have touched that symbolically belongs to them. And so they've taken on an aura of being real boots, although they're not real boots. They're symbolic boots. Although we do have a table full of boots donated to that too. So the purpose of the exhibit was not only just to show the U.S. casualties. We also have, part of the exhibit, we have Iraqi shoes as well, named with their names on them. And the purpose of the exhibit is to display the human cost of war, and to amplify that human cost of war. Whether it's the Iraq War, the Vietnam War, World War II, Korea War, whatever war, this is what happens when you go to war. People die. And you have the casualties that people can see. If you remember in Vietnam, the body bags were coming back on television. Walter Cronkite every night, talked about it. He showed the images of the war. He showed dying soldiers in rice paddies in Vietnam, and he showed the planes coming back in with caskets. In this war, because of the effect that got into Vietnam, this government forbids any images, forbids the media from coming in and over Air Force, which is so bad. And so up until recently, you did not see any coffins at all coming back from Iraq. You saw nothing whatsoever. Sometimes family members weren't even allowed on the military base on the Air Force base to be the plane that was carrying their son and daughter back from Iraq. And the only time that you possibly could see anything at all was after the funeral of the individual, if it was parts of the country. So people have grown disinterested, bored, complacent about this war because it's not touching a lot of people. There's no draft in this war. You can stop 90 out of the next 100 cars that drive by, and those 90 people have not really been affected, other than the fact that they're paying more for gasoline. They don't know people that have died this war, and it's been going on. It's in its 5th year, and it's like on the back burner in people's minds. They don't really realize what's happening. So the purpose of this exhibit is to bring it out so people can see it and understand what's happening. Every time we do the exhibit, people come up to me and they say, starting back when it was like 600 or 700 pairs of boots, the first time the woman came up to me, she says, "Oh my God," she said, "I knew 600 people died, and I didn't know this many." Now they've got 200. and used. Nearly 3,500 people died there. And it's taken up this whole over 70,000 square feet full of boots. That's a lot of boots. That's a lot of death.
I'm struck by the image because it kind of reminds me of Arlington National Cemetery.
Yeah.
Was there any intention to have it resemble that in some way?
Well, when it's on a square plane or a rectangular plane like this, we try to space them out. In this case, they're 4 feet apart, and so people can walk through them. And it does. We do like to have resemble the crosses, where you can look at them at any angle and they're straight. Sometimes they're straighter than other times. There's some crooked rows here. There's a lot of hills that make it hard to keep the rows straight. But the object is to keep a straight row. Now we've also displayed it in places where they've been in a circular arrangement, like in the Cherry Hill Fountain in Central Park, right next to John Lennon's Strawberry Fields. There was a huge fountain there. We put them in a circle around the fountain. In Orlando, Florida, we put them in a circle. We were at the National Civil Rights Museum in Memphis, Tennessee, where we put them in a street right in front of where Martin Luther King was assassinated. We filled the whole street. So we try to put them in to conform to the venue that's there to make them look the best that we can, so that they can be the most impactful.
Have you had a very good response from the American public in general?
We have. We've when we first started doing it, 60% of the Americans at that time in early 2004 thought the war was justified. They believed the line that the government fed that Saddam had something to do with 9/11, that there was an imminent threat, that the smoking gun was going to come in the form of a mushroom cloud, there were weapons of mass destruction, and all that malarkey that they've since admitted were lies that they told the American people, the propaganda that peddled this war. 60% of the people then were in favor of the war. And so they looked at us as an anti-war protest, un-American, anti-military, anti-troop support. And so we did get some protest groups coming at the beginning. Since that time, that swing has just turned opposite. Now 60% or more of the people in this country realize the war was a mistake. If we would have been there, we could get out. And only 28-30% now think that it's still justified. And probably there's going to be 25-30% that will always think it's justified just because they don't believe anything they're told. Unfortunately, there's that element in our country.
Are there any stories behind the images?
Yeah, these images were photographed by a woman that actually did work for us. OpticalRealities.org is the website. You go to see a lot of the photos that Linda Panetta did. And this is the work of Linda Panetta. She was in Iraq. These photographs on the outside of this display were taking, she took these on a trip a couple of years before the war.
I see.
And took images of all these folks that she knew. She knew every one of these. And now I saw her recently, and she now has lost contact and does not know if any of these people are still alive. She's lost complete contact with them. So, these spawning little kids now are, we don't know what happened to them. So that's on the outside of this display. And on the inside, that's like before and after the war started. And these are some of the stories of individuals that we know of, and families that we've interviewed, and people that we have tracked down and learned their stories about their tragedies and about some of the things that happened, to them. And then at the bottom you see names and ages of Iraqi civilians that were killed. About 3,500, 4,000 Iraqis were killed on the initial invasion during the shock and awe phase. The cluster bombs and the bunker buster bombs that were falling and we were dropping on Iraq. We're killing innocent civilians in the attempt to get Saddam and his family and the people in the backfire that were associated with his government. So, civilians are always, the higher count in any war. It's because they can't get away and they're trapped. Since then, however, because this war has gone on and on and on now into the 5th year, the the Johns Hopkins University School of Public Health and the Lancet Medical Journal in England have now determined that there are over 655 Iraqis that have died in this war.
Wow.
655,000 Iraqis
655,000
that have died in this war, yes. So compared to the 3,500 Americans that have died. And every day, for the last year, the suicide bombers and the car bombers things are killing 100, 150 every single day. Well, times 365 days a year, that adds up over time. So it's a situation that's totally out of control, and we certainly hope that it ends soon. It doesn't look like it's going to end at least now until the fall, because the Democrats have capitulated on stopping the funding for the war and have approved it through the summer and in the fall. So the next battle will be, the line in the sand will be drawn in September. When the funding bill comes up again to continue for another 6 months of funding. And they'll probably capitulate again, if you and me indicate those. And who knows how long this is going to go on. So in 2008 we'll have a new president, and the question is, well, whoever that is, have the ability to stop and withdraw the troops and end the war. Are they going to supply munitions and arms to Israel so that they can be the scapegoat to take care of Iran? This government is itching to go to war with Iran. Well, for some of the same ridiculous reasons they wanted to go to war with Iraq. And they're going to use the excuse that Iran is developing nuclear weapons. And whether they are or not, I don't know. But if we bomb the hell out of them, then that will keep the military-industrial complex in business for another 5 years, and we'll be able to sell a lot of arms to Iran.
Mark, can you tell us a little bit more about the American Friends Service Committee?
Yeah, the AFSC was started in 1917 as a service organization to find alternative service for young Quaker youth who were during World War I that were conscientious objectors and did not want to go to war. So the service committee was created to find alternative service for them to do in service of their country, so that they could do other things other than pick up a gun and shoot people. And then the service committee has evolved into doing peace and social work, social justice work around the world. In 1947, we won the Nobel Peace Prize for the efforts that we undertook during World War II to go behind enemy lines in Germany and France to feed civilians that was trapped in the wintertime behind the German lines, and literally saved thousands of lives by bringing food to them and nourishment so that they could survive the winter. And since then we were very active in sanctuary programs during Vietnam. We were very active with Dr. Martin Luther King. We're the people that published his letters to the Birmingham jail. Struggled with out of jail and published them, telling his story. And we've been involved in Middle East peace work. We've been involved very heavily in Palestine. We're trying to get peace and justice.
In Flanders fields,
Basically, where we're
Flanders fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, roll on
We do
roll,
a lot of work
around
with
our place, and in
immigrant
the sky,
populations
the
in this
large
country,
still bravely
particularly
singing
with
fly.
Southern
Scarce heard
War.
amid the guns below.
Work to
We are the
ensure
dead,
that coming
short
across,
days ago. We
coming
lived,
into the country,
felt dawn, saw
by a
sunset
thirst
glow,
from the
loved
desert,
and were loved, and now we
Arizona,
lie in
Mexico,
Flanders
Southern
fields.
California.
Take up our quarrel with the foe, to
Finding,
you from falling hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies blow in Flanders fields.
People are not mistreated.
Lieutenant Colonel John
A lot of
McCready.
peace going on in that area right now. So we're working very, very heavily in that part of the country. We also have people in offices in about 70 countries around the world. So wherever there's a need, we'll find their services. We keep a low profile. We don't really get too much attention, but we just keep our head down and do a lot of work. Hopefully.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Mark Anderson, American Friends Service.
Thank you.
Everything all right?
Yeah, just And just send this one on.
Where poets put their heart.
Oh, that's the one.
Added some nanny. Probably get it wrong.
This is the sad part. This is the sad.
You see, a Shaheed or a Shahida.
Here's all the names. Oops. Put this one down.
There's one over there too.
In Flanders fields. In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from falling hands we throw, the torch be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep though poppies grow in Flanders fields. Colonel John McCrae.